It's time to laugh along with This Little Parent Stayed Home with Ellen Rohr. This no-brainer tutorial will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue, offering the skills that you've already had. This Little Parent Stayed Home covers important issues, such as how to work as a family unit to make your dreams become a reality, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. So let's get empowered. It's time for This Little Parent Stayed Home. And now, here's your host, Ellen Rohr.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to this show of This Little Parent Stayed Home, where we are diligently chipping away at our mission to help 1 million parents bring their careers home. I'm the host of the hour, Ellen Rohr. My co-host is Danielle Bach. Say hello, Danielle.
Hello.
Hello. Always so wonderful to chat with you, even if it's just once a week. I love having you on the show. You are such a wonderful asset. Did I ever tell you that?
Yes, you did, but...
All right. Well, I'm loving you more and more every time I hear you on the airwaves. So we have a great show planned today. I'm excited about this topic. Just to let you know, for all the newcomers that are tuning in today, I am Ellen Rohr, a speaker, trainer, and business consultant for parents and online marketers. And this is the show that discusses everything from bringing your career home, thriving in your chosen lifestyle, to balancing and getting support that you need from your husband, your wife, your friends, your family. Today, we're going to be bringing back the very popular and very well-versed and very knowledgeable Ellen Rohr. She's a terrific expert who got rave reviews on her last appearance. And in the past, we talked about how to create business in just a mere weekend. And today, we're going to be bringing her on to give some juicy tips on how we can help our kids to make money this summer. Now, I love this topic because very often mom entrepreneurs find that their stress levels increase during the summertime. And that's because it's a time where the kids are out of school. That means you have less quality work time, and very often you feel somewhat forced to scale back your business to become camp mommy or cruise director. At least I know that's how I feel sometimes. But first, I want to remind you that as difficult as it may be to scale back your business, we can choose to view the situation in a more positive way by appreciating and giving gratitude for the fact that we can scale back our business when we need to and still be able to scale it back up again when school is back in session in the fall. Having that grateful mindset goes a long way when you're looking to ease that stress and place yourself in your best energetic vibration. So moms, just want to let you know, I super duper get you. I've been where you are. I understand the struggles of managing all the tasks that we have made ourselves responsible for. And that is why I love to give you the tools that you need to master your inhibitions and to improve the quality of your entire existence. I mean, that really is the name of the game here. That's life. And let me tell you, I have seen some amazing things come from the moms and dads that I've worked with over the years, especially the ones who seem to have the biggest roadblocks. Every challenge has a solution. I promise you that. And if we work hard to look for those solutions, then you will grow and progress leaps and bounds. And that's what we are striving for here on This Little Parent Stayed Home. And this is a free podcast. Don't forget to show gratitude to us. We do give you content that you can put into action right away. And when you find yourself struggling with anything, it is truly important that you do what you can to dissect the challenges that you're having. Really try and nail down the origin of the challenge and really dig as deep as you possibly can. That's really going to be the keys to finding the solution. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion sometimes to unveil the truth about what might be holding you back. The work-at-home business industry has absolutely exploded in the last 5 years, and there's a lot of reasons for this. First, there's more resources available to everyone through the internet like never before, and never, ever in any generation has there been this abundance of free information available at our fingertips. And it used to be that business education was only available to those who had access to college education or those willing to camp out, at the local library and just become self-taught. But now it's right there. Resources are abundant. Also, we're living in an age when 2 incomes are necessary for an average family of 3 or 4 to survive. And that isn't necessarily families who didn't prepare or had accidental pregnancies or had accidental divorces. These are moms and dads who actually got that college degree and climbed corporate ladders and found that even if they were more fulfilled by working outside of the home, it actually made more sense for one parent to be the at-home primary caretaker because of the rising cost of childcare. And so for many of us, it was just our maternal instincts that brought us home and perpetuated the drive and focus in us to just make it work somehow. We knew that we couldn't lose our salaries, so we set out on a way to replace it while staying at home. And we've fallen down a lot. We've had a lot of hiccups along the way as we figure out a way to make this work. But if you look around, there's a lot of good here because we are succeeding and it is becoming easier. Whether you're just getting started or you've been at this for a while, if you just spend a moment looking around at what we have already pioneered together collaboratively, you're going to be blown away by the perpetual growth of the successful mom and dad businesses that are out there. And these businesses are still secondary. They're still second in priority to family. So pat yourselves on the back because we did it, guys and gals. And, here's some even better news for you along the lines of that. We're actually giving corporate America a run for their money. That is right. It's so true. Corporate employers are losing their best talent, not to other organizations and other competitors, but to self-employment, which means that big businesses are now adjusting the freedoms and personal benefits that they provide and offer to their most valuable employees. It's a slow progression, but it is progress. And another reason for you to pat yourselves on the back, you yourselves, you are who we need to thank for this. You are a contributing factor to this very, very powerful movement of unity. And also the glue that holds us all together, that is the love that we have for our kids and our determination to provide for them on our own terms. We're doing it, kids. Isn't that awesome? Woo! So on that note, the best way to provide is to teach. Now, you may not realize the empowerment that you're giving your children by allowing them to see you work at home, but that is absolutely what is happening. And I'm not talking about the struggle that we have to stay present with our children, not checking your smartphone obsessively, when you should be watching a t-ball game or, returning messages when you should be engaging with your children. But really, the great news is how you choose to involve your kids at home based on what you're showing them, what you're keeping them involved with. And this is going to continue to pave the way for them when they are adults and choosing how to employ themselves. So whether your children are showing signs of entrepreneurism or not, unless you're planning on supplying them with like a trust fund or something, or making them independently wealthy with all of the business strategies that you're putting into place now, chances are your kids are going to have to work, just like we have to work. All right. And so they're going to have to learn how to earn an income at some point in their lives and at some capacity. And because we're home with them, we have an opportunity to get started with them early. And so I really do love today's topic. Stay-at-home parents are always looking for new and fun activities to do during the summer. And so why not do activities that can actually earn them money, right?
Right.
I know, I love this. And the activities that we're going to suggest today are I'm constantly looking for cheap and free. These are not just cheap and free. They're going to make you money, okay? And they're going to provide a great learning environment for your kids at the same time. So instead of telling your kids, I can't afford to take you on that vacation, or, I can't afford to send you to that summer camp, or no, we just don't have the money to go to that water park, the dialogue is going to be able to change. Now we can say things like, let's see what we can do to help you earn the money for that. Come on, it'll be fun. And it really does become a fun activity. So it is really important that you teach your children the act of goal setting. Okay? And it's important for you as a leader in your business and in your life to be in the daily habit of goal setting. It's funny. I had an epiphany the other day about something that was so simple, but totally unrealized. When I was working in corporate America for employers, and very often I was in a sales position, we had quotas to fill. Now, you might remember that I worked for an entertainment company for actors where I had to pre-screen actors for casting director workshops. Well, I had to fill a sales quota. And once I met that, then I could try and reach bonuses. And in the beginning, I did. I struggled to meet my quota. It took me a few weeks. That's as to be expected because I was still finding my footing. I was still building up my confidence in that industry. I was working on mastering my sales copy, getting really good with my dialogue and my words. But once I got that down and I hit my weekly quota, I hit it every week. It was just really a lot easier to hit that quota. And then if I had time, I could actually go for some bigger goals and reach those new goals and hit some bonuses. And the thing I think that is missing in so many of our businesses where we are running it ourselves is that we forget to give ourselves quotas. Right? I mean, think about that for a minute. We often work really hard to bring in as much money as we possibly can, or land as many new clients as we possibly can, or promote ourselves as much as we can. But how many of you are actually giving yourself a weekly quota? Last week we talked about the 20-mile march and how important it is to remain consistent regardless of the conditions that are presented to you each week. Your quota needs to remain consistent regardless of the time of year, your health, your children's health, any emergencies that come up, the amount of time you can conceivably dedicate to your business, any hiccup that might come along. You've got to give yourself a realistic quota that you can always achieve regardless of what challenges or hiccups or roadblocks are presented to you. Your business will always remain in good health if you do this. When you give yourself a realistic quota, your business is going to remain in good health. You will find that you're not struggling during those difficult times. Even when you scale back your business, money's still going to be coming in because your tolerance for hard work will be that much stronger. In a little bit, we're going to be bringing on our amazing guest of the hour, Ellen Rohr. You may remember her that she is the president and founder of Bare Bones Biz, a business training and consulting company. And she teaches us how to turn our big ideas into successful businesses. She teaches the basics. She's a lot of fun. She's got a fantastic energy. And she's really, really good at communicating these strategies to us in a way that makes sense for the everyday, ordinary person. You do not have to be exceptionally brilliant to understand how to make this work. Also, I'm going to be opening up the phone lines for some questions, and I'd love to hear from you. If you want to join the line, if you want to join the show today, call the toll-free line. That's 877-864-4869. When we come back, we will talk with Ellen Rohr, so don't go away. We'll see you in a few.
Staying home? Working from home? Making your dreams a reality? We're working on it. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home with Ellen Rohr. And we'll be right back after these.
This is Allie LaPrete. Now, as you know, I have made it my personal mission to help 1 million parents bring their careers home. And I'm always on the lookout for the best work-at-home opportunities that's going to allow you to sign your own paychecks and be able to put your family first. That is why I am truly excited to be able to present a legitimate income-making opportunity to those of you who are truly serious about working from home. I've teamed up with my very good friend, Bridget Brady, and together we're going to be offering a free 30-minute teleseminar on the first Wednesday of every month so that we can show you how to make money online using an already proven system. You can reserve your seat by going to thislittleparent.com, and under the Business Opportunities tab on the right side, you'll find the registration link for this free 30-minute call. It's free, it's strictly informational, and it's already been giving a lot of parents just like you the resources to take control of their financial future. Go to thislittleparent.com to reserve your complimentary seat, and we'll see you there.
Do you know the power that you have as a consumer? You have the power to choose where to spend your hard-earned dollars. OurMilkMoney.com is an easily accessible online business directory that lists the products and services of self-employed parents. It's a great place for you to flex that consumer power of yours. And each time you do, you'll be helping a mom or dad afford the choice to stay home with their kids. Visit OurMilkMoney.com today to do your shopping, list your own business, or make a personal contribution to the global movement that's allowing business owners to put their families first.
Welcome back to This Little Parent Stayed Home, the no-brainer tutorial that will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue by offering the skills that you've already had, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home. Now, back to the show with Ellen Rohr.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. Can you tell that I'm excited? I'm going to New York. I'm going to. I just opened this up on Facebook because it is imperative that I get a good night's sleep. I'm taking the red eye out tonight. I will be landing at JFK tomorrow at 5 a.m. and as soon as I'm in the city, I am heading straight to my intensive with Tori Johnson and 10 other fabulous women. And I need to appear refreshed and gorgeous. And so, I can totally, put on my makeup, do my hair. I've got the outfits all picked out. But what I would love to know is if anyone out there travels a lot and if you have tips for me on how I can sleep soundly on a red eye. JetBlue, I got the window seat, so I have someplace to rest my head. I've got eye shades. I've got melatonin. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. If you have tips, I want you to call me.
iPad or your iPod?
I have my iPod. Well, I have my phone, and I can always listen to music there. And I have earplugs, and I have eye shades, and I'm going to get one of those little neck pillows. I have one, but it's kind of losing its fluff. So I'm going to get a new new pillow. But if anyone has any tips like drinking wine, can I mix that with melatonin? Does that matter? Or maybe melatonin may not work. I've heard that Ambien. If you have a special tip that you'd like to share with me, I'm going to keep the phone lines open, toll free 877-864-4869. I see the comments here on my Facebook page, but I want you to call in. I want you to take part. So those of you who are not listening on podcasts, those of you who do choose to listen live, I know there's not many of you, but if you do choose to listen to us live, I'd love to hear from you. All right, guys. So, you want to hear me sing or do you want to hear Ellen? That's a really mean question.
It is.
It's not fair. Because, of course, you want to hear Ellen. Of course, she's fantastic. So, today we are talking about how to find great activities. We're going to be giving you the lowdown on juicy tips for activities with your kids during the summer that can make you money or help them make money. And I love this because not only could we all use a little bit more money, and not only is this a really good chance for you to provide some money education for your children, but if you have been Camp Mommy cruise director like me, you're always looking for new activities. We've done dollar movies. We've done free bowling, which isn't really free. We've done because you've got to pay for your shoe rental. We've done, water trips or, water play dates in our backyard. I'm constantly looking for new activities to do in the summer. And if there's something that we can do to actually teach our children how to find value in making their own money, that is a terrific thing that I want to learn about. So let's go ahead and bring on Ellen Rohr right now. Welcome back to the show, Ellen. It's always such a delight to have you here. Ellen, can you hear me? I can't hear her, Roy. Do we need to hang up and try again? Oh, hi, Ellen. She's there. Hi, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi.
We could sing this whole interview. Let's put 'em to work.
I feel like that you were going to want to join in. It's kind of hard not to, right?
It is. Well, you have a great voice. Beautiful.
Well, I actually my major in college was musical theater. It never amounted to anything, but
Well, I'm not surprised about that at all. And I was a cheerleader in high school, so can you see the connection?
Of course. I was a cheerleader in high school, too.
Exactly.
No wonder we get along so great.
I am smiling already because you guys have such great energy, and I love what you're doing, and it is an honor to play with you. So thank you for having me back on the show, and I'm so excited to put the kids to work in the salt mines, have them earn their own money this summer.
have them earn their keep. I mean, whatever happened to those days where people just pumped out kids to go help them out in the fields? I mean, that really was like the purpose of having a family. Of course, that's not our purpose now.
Yeah, not a bad
Whatever
idea.
happened to actually having them earn their keep and get rid of that sense of entitlement that our society seems to put on them?
Well, did you have a lemonade stand, or do you have an early memory of making money as a kid that you could recall?
Oh, of course. Lemonade stands. That's probably the most ideal thing that you go to, that you think, oh, let's just help them make a lemonade stand. But I know that you are coming to us with some better ideas than just a lemonade stand, aren't you?
Well, the lemonade stand may be an age-appropriate thing, because we're going to talk about putting the kids to work, and depending on how old they are, a lemonade stand is absolutely a great idea. The older the kid is, the more feasible a legitimate business is. But what we're after more than anything else is to get them in love with this idea that if you charge more than it costs for something, you will manufacture your own money. Once upon a time, I remember they used to call it penny candy. Now, I'm an old woman, so they actually had this when I was a kid, but they had penny candy. And I remember going to Las O'Leary's, which was the local, store on the corner where you could buy a soda and candy and just some light groceries. And I bought penny candy, and I put it on a card table in my front yard, and I sold it for 2 pennies. And I thought, this is magic.
Yep.
And it is.
Yep. And I think the equivalent today is bringing my kids. We love the 99-cent store. It's my favorite place to go because when I'm with them, I can say yes to them whenever they're like, oh, can I do that? That looks like fun. Can we eat that? Can we try that? It's no problem for me. But it's also a really good place for me to bring them to spend their money because they're still young and they have maybe $25. So the 99-cent store, I would think, is probably the equivalent of the penny candy store.
Right. And we want to create this the idea of putting the kids to work to make their own money is primarily to get them enthused about the power of charging more than it costs and manufacturing your own money. And let's create some really great associations and memories of entrepreneurship. What you said in the opening segment about being a great role model for your kids, if you're going to stay at home and work and be self-employed, wow, that is just such a powerful education. And part of it is turning them on to the idea that you could do this too, and you could do it right now. So let's talk about some ideas for helping kids make their own money. One of the things that prompted me to put this segment together too is that often our kids are privileged, and the American dream is that we're providing a better life for our kids, that they have it easier than we had it. That's not a bad thing, but when it tips out of balance is when they become so privileged that they don't have the opportunity to engage in those character-building activities like, starting a business of your own. So I was thinking about, kids like Surrey Cruz or the Jolie Pitt kids. They're pretty set for life. It's going to be pretty hard not to have a fortune at your disposal, but we've seen the challenges that super privileged kids have as they come into their own. And, boy, we don't want that to happen to our privileged kids either, do we?
We certainly don't. But, I have a quick question before you go on, because I will say that I definitely see that there's this sense of entitlement in today's society. But the thing that confuses me and probably confuses a lot of people is that we as parents are struggling a lot more to give our kids the same things that we got so effortlessly. I mean, in the 80s, everything was booming and everybody just had expendable money. We just got whatever we wanted. Everybody was going on vacations. There was just more money in the family. So we were the ones that were entitled, or at least I think that we should have been. And here, I feel like we're struggling more to keep up with the demands and just to do the best to give our kids, the lessons that we want. And yet our kids seem to be even more entitled than we ever acted. Do you have any comment about that, or why do you think that is?
I think that's a really interesting conversation topic.
Yeah.
What I embrace, and this is going to sound a little paradoxical, but what I would embrace is that we should be entitled to have whatever it is that we want, and we should be empowered to make that happen, not expect someone else to provide it. So that we deserve to have nice things, and that's definitely something you want to teach your kids, that you deserve it, and to open yourself up to receiving from multiple sources, and don't wait. Make your own dreams come true, and engage in the the clay of this lifetime and make things happen. I think that that's the primary reason for us to be here, is to create for the sheer joy of it. And a business is an awesome playground to do that. So we want to introduce kids to the joys to have the joys that can be found in a business of their own. And so let's give folks some tips for how to make that happen, shall we?
I love that, and thank you so much for that very powerful statement. I am ready for these tips. What do you got for us?
Well, let's start with some motivation. Like, I like to have a goal, something that I'm working towards. As I've gotten older, it's things like property and paying off my mortgage and, nice vacations. But as a kid, I remember really, really, really wanting a Stingray bike. So whatever it is that's going to kind of juice your kid up, they're going to ask you for things, and you might say, that is a fantastic idea. Let's see if we can't help you create that. You can start with a vision board. Are you a big vision board girl?
I like to do it. I probably
one?
don't do it enough. I have done vision boards. I'm really much better at lists. I find it very, very hard personally to find pictures of what that match my visions in my brain. And so I would prefer to actually write it out with the words and describe what I want rather than actually having – I'd love to have pictures. I can never find them. But vision boards, absolutely, yeah.
It's a lovely point, though, because, you will know your kids, or you might open this conversation up to them. You might ask them, what would you be more comfortable with, creating a vision board, a poster board that has pictures of what it is you want, or would you like to journal it out, write down a list of things that you want?
Idea.
And there's right brain, left brain kids, so some people may want to do both, but whichever's going to suit your kid, and have them start dreaming big. They may put all kinds of stuff on that vision board or on that list of things that I want, right? And don't edit it. Let them dream as big and bold as you can, and try and resist if your 11-year-old daughter puts a motorcycle on her vision board and that just makes your heart stop with fear. Try not to express that.
You're right. That is very, very difficult. I could just see my kids pasting, photos of like shotguns and, things that I'm completely and totally against. We have to take a break, Ellen. We actually have a break coming
we're going to
up in
break?
just a little bit. We have a break in about 30 seconds. I just want to remind everybody that if you want to call in, if you want to talk to Ellen, if you have any comments or questions about the topic today, which is how to help your kids make their own money this summer, then you can always call in. The toll-free line is 877-864-4869. We're talking here with Ellen Rohr. She's the president and founder of Bare Bones Biz, and today she's teaching us the basics of how to help our kids be entrepreneurs at a very, very young age and just working through those summer activities. We have another half hour of the show. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the tips that you can do with your kids, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Staying home, working from home, making your dreams a reality? We're working on it. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home with Ellen Rohr, and we'll be right back after these.
If you're a self-employed parent, you know what it takes to run a business and a household at the same time. At OurMilkMoney.com, we get it too. And we connect you with other moms and dads who appreciate the value of your business and flex their consumer power to support you in your choice to work from home. Best of all, it's free. Visit OurMilkMoney.com today to get your home business some buzz and contribute to the movement that is truly changing lives, one family at a time.
Welcome back to This Little Parent Stayed Home, the no-brainer tutorial that will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue by offering the skills that you've already had, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home. Now, back to the show with Ellen Rohr.
Thanks so much for returning with us to This Little Parent Stayed Home. I have to quickly read some of these comments on my Facebook page for how I can get a good night's sleep during the red eye to New York here. I see here Benadryl, valerian tea before boarding, well-padded iPad, and my own blanket. Melatonin, a few people are saying melatonin, a couple of glasses of wine, maybe several glasses of wine. I'm wanting to know if I can have melatonin and wine together. And somebody, I like this one. First class. Well, that's not going to happen on JetBlue, but still, I really like your comments, and keep them coming. If you want to call the show, 877-864-4869. But the real topic of today is how to help your kids make their own money this summer. And I want to continue on with these great tips that you have, Ellen. So let's go ahead and continue on where we left off. You were talking about vision boards and how that can really help get the juices flowing for the kids and having visions for the kinds of things that they can provide for themselves. Isn't that right?
Yes, and so some things, some dreams, what do they say? Dreams delayed are not dreams denied. Some of the things on their vision board may not be achievable this summer, or may not even be on the list for this summer, but you want them to dream big and keep some dreams on the vision board for later. And the ones that they may want to address right away, like a new bike or a new outfit, or maybe they're saving money for a mission trip or something, then you could say, okay, let's identify one or two of these that you want to tackle this summer. And next, what are some ways, you can brainstorm some ways that they could make some more money. Now, as long as you charge more than it costs for something, you're going to manufacture money. So you might start with things like piggybacking on a garage sale. If they assemble some things that they're willing to part with, or that are in good condition, or they can fix them up, you don't necessarily have to have a garage sale. If someone in your neighborhood is having one, you might ask if your kids, or have them ask if they might piggyback on that garage sale, set up a table and take care of their own items.
That is a great idea, because I will say that even though we're not planning on having one anytime soon, my kids, at least my 7-year-old, is always telling us when someone else is having a garage sale. He loves reading the signs in the neighborhood when we drive by. He's like, look, they're having a garage sale. And so it would be a great idea to just contact those people and say, would you mind if my son sets up a table with yours? That's a terrific idea.
And that moment, and if you have your 7-year-old kid do this, I'm going to put all parents listening in charge of the safety of their own children. Of course, the older they are, the more, the longer the leash can be as far as interacting with other people. But that's a great sales opportunity for that 7-year-old to ask a neighbor, hi, I saw you're having a garage sale. Could I help you with it, help with signage, put stuff out in the neighborhood, and then set up a table of my own? Being able to ask someone that, stand on both feet, look someone in the eye, and negotiate a deal is an excellent business skill.
That's incredible. Early joint ventures. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, love it. Exactly. A JV program. Perfect.
All right.
Then, they could put items in They could put items in a consignment, say a shop or something like that. Again, there's some negotiation that happens that's really powerful, and it teaches kids that the power of speaking and negotiating to a win-win outcome. Now, a little business, the lemonade stand is great and not to be overlooked. Services are always great. There are busy people in your neighborhood. If you have a neighbor who doesn't like to garden and has some ratty-looking rose bushes, your child could knock on the door with a little flyer that says, I've got some services. I'm going to clip back your roses. I looked up how to do it online. Here are my prices. Would you like me to get started? And then be quiet and wait for them to say, sure, yes, let's go. So a door-to-door, knocking on a door and asking for business is not inappropriate. And if you want to walk along and stay on the sidewalk to keep your child safe, I think that's cool. But a door-to-door, dirty jobs, landscaping, something outside, if your child is a little bit older, they can make a lot of money with a power washer, right?
Okay.
So depending on the age of the kid, if I had a kid with a power washer show up, every single time a kid with a power washer showed up, I would put that kid to work.
I would too. I know, right? And I have to say, when we first became parents, our baby boy, Braden, we were looking for babysitters. He was an infant, and a little girl knocked on our door. I think she was 13 years old at the time. Her name was Lauren. I loved her to death. And Lauren knocked on our door. She had little business cards that she handmade, like literally cut it from pieces of paper and designed them herself with her markers. Little business cards. She stood there on our doorstep and said, hi, I'm $4 an hour. I come with a backpack filled with activities, and I'd like to be here. My mom lives right across the street, so she's always here in case there's anything that I need an older grown-up for. And we hired her right away. We talked with her mom, but we loved how she just appeared on our doorstep with her little business cards. She was CPR certified from Girl Scouts, and we couldn't wait to hire her. It was really very impressive. I loved it. And so I want to just kind of piggyback on what you're saying. It's that those presentation skills, but wouldn't you also recommend, Ellen, that we can role play with our kids and practice before they're ready to go out and actually start having those conversations with the public?
Absolutely. And let's do this. Let's kind of go back and forth here a little bit just to make sure we get in this next point. I know that the time is going to go fast. I want to continue talking about types of businesses that we could help kids discover. But let's talk about it, the overarching business plan. So now what will happen with this business is it's kind of like when your kid has a great idea to get a dog, and before you know it, you got a dog and you're doing everything. You have to lay some boundaries. Does this make sense?
Oh, yes. I haven't, but it's one of the reasons we haven't gotten a dog, because I know what would happen.
Exactly. So the business too, it can start, on a lazy afternoon, and the kid can get all fired up, but then they can lose steam. So what you want to do is have them put together a little plan. If they've got some motivation, something that they want to have, that's the vision board, the list of goals. And then you've kind of stirred up some ideas, and they started to look through their skill set and the things that they're interested in and the tools that are available to them. Then they might start to think of some things that they could do for their business. Have them put together a one-pager. In business, it's called a one-pager, and it's a business plan that fits on one page. Now, for little kids, you can help them. You can, help them answer 2 or 3 questions. And the questions that you want them to answer are the basic journalistic questions. So, Allie, when you are learning how to interview someone, or did you ever take any classes in journalism once upon a time?
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. The who, the what, the where, the why, the how.
Those are the business planning questions, sister.
Right.
And so those questions, if you were to ask and answer them, and you can work through them with a teenage kid, tell them, listen, an hour from now you can emerge with a business plan. Just do whatever you need to do, and I'm going to set the timer. I'll visit with you in an hour. A younger kid, you're going to have to sit side by side and kind of work through the questions. But by the time they're older, if you start this when they're little, they'll get good at this. But have them put together a one-pager and answer those questions. Okay, what are you going to provide for this business? What is the business? Have them come up with a sentence or 2. And why should this business exist? That's the mission statement for the business. Mm-hmm. Well, because I want to be able to go on this mission trip, or I want a bike, or I want to get a new outfit for homecoming. Whatever they want, that can be their why. That can be their mission. They may not come up with something really lofty like, because I know it expands peace, prosperity, and freedom across the planet, but they may. Whatever motivates them is their why, is their mission, and that, again, is not something to judge. Just let them determine what the why is, because if the why is compelling enough for them, they're going to put in the effort to make this happen.
That's great advice.
The
I love
mission
that.
is the why. The what is the business itself. Whom are you going to serve, and who is going to be doing the work? So those 2 questions are really important, because if this business involves you driving them from place to place, you might want to know that before you get involved in this particular.
Exactly. I get that. Sure. And thank you for saying that.
Yeah. And then the whom is the target market. So you can see everything that I'm sharing it's the exact same thing that I do with my adult clients. Mm-hmm. In fact, the beauty of kids doing it is they might not muck it up by getting it overly complicated.
Well, yeah, and especially if we don't overcomplicate things and we don't impose our own opinions on what they should or should not be doing. And that probably is the hardest part for moms, is to take a step back and say, yes, I'm going to support you in whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you're trying to raise money for, even if it is a dirt bike or a motorcycle, like you said. But yeah, I think that you're right. If we just trust that they will figure it out and take a step back and only step in where they need support. That's great advice.
Right, when they need support, or if they're going to do something that you're really uncomfortable with, or you think is dangerous or not age appropriate, then you are the parent, and you have to, put some ground rules in. But that's business too. Like if you go to a bank or to an investor or to your husband or your wife and you say, listen, I want to start a business and I'm going to need some support from you, that person is going to have some criteria. You know, there are going to be some compromises made whenever you need someone else's support to start a business. So everything that you do with a kid's business is just like you would do with an adult business. There really are no age limitations except for the safety of the child, right? But their simple, elegant plan is it could be enough to create a fortune, and it is certainly going to be the same process as they get older. So what they do for a business may expand as they grow up, but the process can be exactly the same from little kid to senior citizen. So that's what's so fun about this. And if they put their business plan together, and it could be more than one page, but it doesn't have to be. A one-pager is a really common business tool because most people don't have the attention span to look through a 30-page business plan.
Right. Okay. So we're going to take another break in just a little bit. But what I want to do is I want to recap the first 3 points that we made, and then we'll come back for the 4th point in the final segment. So the first thing is that we're going to introduce kids to the power of written goals and visualization by doing the vision boards. And then we're going to consider ideas on how we're going to actually make some money this summer. Garage sale, consignment sale, like you said, babysitting, dog walking, such a variety of different ways that we can actually bring in some income with our kids. And then finally, the last thing that we talked about, you had talked about creating the business plan with the what, the why, the who, the how much, the when. And is there anything else that we need to talk about before we hit that 4th point in the 4th segment?
Well, we're going to be talking about the money, honey, when we come back.
They may want to borrow.
They may want to borrow some money. You know, some people think it takes money to make money, and sometimes that helps. So how much are you willing to get involved in this business plan? What are you willing to invest in the business? Will probably depend on the strength of the business plan, but I've got some great ideas for how they can keep track of the money, how you could get paid back when we come back after the break. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect to me. We'll be talking about money and our kids and how they can make it that final talking point, point number 4, when we come back on This Little Parent Stayed Home, right after this.
Staying home, working from home, making your dreams a reality? We're working on it. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home with Ellen Rohr, and we'll be right back after these.
This is Ellen Rohr. Now, as you know, I have made it my personal mission to help 1 million parents bring their careers home. And I'm always on the lookout for the best work-at-home opportunities that's going to allow you to sign your own paychecks and be able to put your family first. That is why I am truly excited to be able to present a legitimate income-making opportunity to those of you who are truly serious about working from home. I've teamed up with my very good friend, Bridget Brady, and together we're going to be offering a free 30-minute teleseminar on the first Wednesday of every month so that we can show you how to make money online using an already proven system. You can reserve your seat by going to thislittleparent.com, and under the Business Opportunities tab on the right side, you'll find the registration link for this free 30-minute call. It's free, it's strictly informational, and it's already been giving a lot of parents just like you the resources to take control of their financial future. Go to thislittleparent.com to reserve your complimentary seat, and we'll see you there.
Do you know the power that you have as a consumer? You have the power to choose where to spend your hard-earned dollars. Our milkmoney.com is an easily accessible online business directory that lists the products and services of self-employed parents. It's a great place for you to flex that consumer power of yours. And each time you do, you'll be helping a mom or dad afford the choice to stay home with their kids. Visit ourmilkmoney.com today to do your shopping, list your own business, or make a personal contribution to the global movement that's allowing business owners to put their families first.
Welcome back to This Little Parent Stayed Home, the no-brainer tutorial that will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue by offering the skills that you've already had, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home. Now, back to the show with Ellen Rohr.
Welcome back, This Little Parents. How are ya? and I hope you're doing well. We have one final segment here of This Little Parent Stayed Home, and we're here with expert Ellen Rohr. We're going to be talking about the final talking point and giving you great tips and advice on how you can help your kids earn money this summer. But before we get back to that, I just want to give you a quick reminder about the free course that I'm offering August 4th. Write it down, take out your pens and put it on your calendar. August 4th, we have about 50 tickets left, and you're going to be able to learn my special Twitter formula that's going to teach you how to drive mass traffic to your online business by targeting your ideal demographic. And you may remember that I've partnered with my very good friend Susan B. Zimmerman, Subi-Doo, that's how people know her, and she's going to be teaching her special strategy to Instagram. So you're going to be learning 2 social media platforms. It's a 90-minute course. It will cost you nothing. And the way to reserve your seat is to go to thislittleparent.com. You're going to see a banner on the right side under upcoming events. This strategy is perfect for people who are looking to grow their list, get more clients. If you have a sales page that you want more eyes to land on, this Twitter formula guarantees that you will get thousands more to see your fantastic online business. And so you definitely want to sign up for this. I'm not going to be offering this thing for free very often. So take advantage now, August 4th. All right, Ellen, we have got about 12 minutes left, and I am really looking forward to hearing the final component of helping your kids earn money. And I know that we're going to be talking about how to manage the money. So what do you got for us with that?
It's all about the money, money, money. I like the singing idea.
I know, right? We should have a musical show. Maybe my next radio show will be all musical all the time.
Well, we want the kids to keep track of the money. This is a huge part of running a business of your own. I run into a lot of people who tell me, do what you love and the money will follow, and then they're broke and in debt and are behind with their payroll taxes and they don't know what happened.
Right, because they're bleeding hearts. Right.
Well, and the money is just how we keep score. It's part of the game. You wouldn't even play a baseball game or a basketball game if you didn't keep score. Kids keep score naturally. They like it. If you don't win today, you could win tomorrow, but we're going to keep score. And so I like keeping score, and the money is how we keep score in the game of business. And it's easy to keep track of kids in their business. Here's a really great idea. Set up 3 jars. If they have a little business, they're a young kid, let's make it a cash business. 3 jars are a good way to go. I learned this from a friend of mine who learned it from his church or something, but I love this. So one of the jars is going to be 10% of everything that they earn has to go into that jar, and that's going to be to give away. So that would be to charity or tithing or a good cause. But it's giveaway money. You always put some money into the jar to give back. And so let's make that 10%. And then you're going to put 10% in their higher education fund/savings. They got to stockpile some money. They can't spend everything that they earn, so they're going to put 10% there. And then they're going to put the rest in a jar that they get to spend. Now, those percentages are negotiable. You can decide you want to make it different. But if they have some that they give away, some that they save, and the rest that they can spend, they get used to this idea that you don't get to spend every dollar of income. And that's what gets older business owners in trouble. Make sense?
Right. That really is true. That does translate to adulthood. Absolutely.
Yes, and as they get older, a columnar pad is still a really nice thing. If they want to, they can use Excel, right, to keep track of that money in, and then, the same kind of thing that you're going to separate into columns the amount of money you're going to save, the amount of money that goes to college or savings, and then the amount that you can spend. And as you spend it, you can also keep track of your expenses. So you can have a little profit and loss for them, so they can start to see, well, okay, if I bring in this much and I have to stockpile this much, I have this 80% left to pay my expenses, and then I could work towards my dream. So a columnar pad might be all they need, and older kids can get, sexy with some Excel, and that's another tool that they can use. But now suppose you loan them some money. You can loan them money. Like if it's a lemonade stand, maybe you're going to loan them, $10 for supplies.
Yep.
Then you have to work out a payment schedule for that. Is it going to be $10 plus $1 for interest? That's not a bad idea.
That's
right?
interesting. We did do that last summer. We did have a garage sale, and they did set up a lemonade stand, my 4-year-old and 7-year-old. And it was a little challenging because they didn't even know how to count money. My 7-year-old got it down pretty quick, but my 4-year-old just kept trying to give it away. But we went to the 99-cent store. We picked out supplies, whatever you want. This is what it will cost you. How much do you think you can make? Because whatever comes in, you're going to have to pay this back to me. So I didn't charge them interest, but I did say I'm now your creditor. And that what that means is that you are in debt to me and you have to work out a payment system with me. And they made enough to pay me back, which was great.
Fun. And depending on the businesses, again, the age will make a difference into what lessons you learn and the number of businesses. The first time through, don't overwhelm them. Set them up for success. Make it really easy. The next time through, maybe add a little bit more to the game. Okay, I'm going to loan you money. You have to pay me back. You have to pay a little bit of interest. We want them to engage that business plan. And one of the things in the business plan is if they're going to reach a target market, how are they going to reach that target market? I love what you said about the girl in the babysitting class, and she had those, she was ready with a sales presentation.
Oh, it was adorable.
She had some marketing with her business cards. Let's talk about a couple other ideas for what you can do for business, but can I share one really interesting story? A friend of mine,
would love to hear it.
A friend of mine, when we were growing up, started a mowing lawns when he's a little bit older than me. So when I was about 8 years old and he was 12 years old, he started mowing lawns in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Since that day, he has been his own boss. He has a landscaping company. He gets up at 4 in the morning. He goes surfing every day. He lives on the shore. He takes the winters off. He only works in the summer because there's not a lot of landscaping to be done, so he does very little work in the winter. He takes a few months off every winter. He gets up super early and he goes surfing, and he has this landscaping business. He's put his daughter through college. He owns his house. He's created a great life for himself, and all he ever did was start a landscaping business by mowing lawns. He's never had another job, and he's 50 years old.
I love that.
Isn't that interesting?
I've heard amazing stories like that, but it really is true that we do want to start empowering them now at this age. My question to you, and maybe you remember, is where did he get this idea? Did it come from him seeing that his parents were self-employed? Did he have an older brother or sibling? Or do you think he was just born with that spirit?
I think one summer he wanted to make some money, and his dad suggested the lawnmower. And it just turned out that he enjoyed it, and he loved the freedom of it. Like right away, he got into this, I can still go surfing. I can take some time off. I can be my own boss. If I want to be gone for a few days, I can just work out next week. I'm going to be on here on Thursday instead of Tuesday. And he works with regular clients that he's had now for decades. Every now and then he'll hire some people to work with him, and he uses them on a temporary basis, and he mostly works all by himself. So whatever that business dream that you have is, by encouraging a kid, they may find their life's purpose in this very first business that they start. But I would also love to
point out that it is actually a very important time right now, especially if you're looking at getting your kids educated. Not only can they help provide for their own college education, but a lot of college applications now require that you show them some form of entrepreneurialism. Colleges really want to see that there's already some kind of entrepreneur spirit in there, because you're a much better investment for any college to help become a very successful entrepreneur and eventually give back as an alumni to that college. So it's an incredible way to actually get your kid into college by starting them early and understanding how business works. So we have a few minutes left, but I know you have a couple more quick tips on things that we can do. So I want to get those before we have to leave the show today.
Well, I'm a big fan of dirty jobs. I just saw Mike Rowe on Bill Maher's show the other night, and he was talking about this movement he started called Profoundly Disconnected. And he was talking about how there are great jobs and careers available, but a lot of kids are getting advice to go into debt, get a college degree, and hopefully get some kind of white-collar job. That may not happen, and now you're burdened with all this student loan debt. So his message, and I want to underline this, I loved it so much, what he was sharing, is that dirty jobs are really great jobs. plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, home service, anything to do with dogs, anything to do with landscaping. Those services are never going to be outsourced. Those are great jobs for kids to explore and businesses for them to start. I just started a franchise, Allie, and we're drain cleaning. We do drain cleaning. You know what? No one is ever going to not need that.
I just became friends with a family that is doing, what is it they're doing? It's an amazing service. They're an in-home lice inspection, and they are flourishing. This was such a need, and they're franchising it, and it's already going huge all over the country. So you're absolutely right. Any kind of
that job,
valuable
there's
service.
Somebody who's going to need to do that job. So, mundane tasks can be fortunes, and they're honorable, wonderful things for you to encourage your kids to do. So thank you for letting me share. I put together the book, The Weekend Biz Plan. We talked about this last time. The Weekend Biz Plan is appropriate for any kid over 6th grade. It's an awesome,
I love it.
Skinny little book. So the Weekend Biz Plan, they could take an hour, they could take a weekend, but have them put a little plan together, answer those main journalistic questions, who, what, why, when, how, and then encourage them to make their own money.
Well, this was just terrific. I love all of the tips and all of the things that we can do with our kids to help them get into the entrepreneurial spirit and see how they can empower themselves to really live a life of freedom. This was really tremendous. If you want to get to know Ellen Rohr, and why wouldn't you? You can find her on her own website, www.barebonesbiz.com. We've got about 30 seconds left. Would you care to join me in song, Ellen, before we go?
Yes, I would. I'm also going to sign up for your secrets to mastering Instagram and Twitter, by the way.
You'll be blown away. You will be blown away. So now let's start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. It's always fun to sing. One thing that you should never do is say no to singing. Enjoy the rest of the week, everybody. I'll be in New York, and I will be back next Monday. Have a good one. We'll see you then.
Thanks.